Brown grass poking through a layer of snow in the fields as cows dot the landscape. It can mean only one thing. It's winter on the plains. But what exactly happens with all those cattle out there? Snowy winters pose a unique challenge for American ranchers, especially when it comes to the well-being of their cattle. As temperatures plummet and icy winds blow, the responsibility to ensure the health and safety of these animals becomes paramount. Despite the harsh conditions, American ranchers exhibit unwavering dedication and employ a range of strategies to provide optimal care for their cattle. This video explores the meticulous efforts undertaken by these hardworking individuals to safeguard their herds during the cold winter months. Shelter and housing. One of the key priorities for American ranchers during snowy winters is providing appropriate shelter for their cattle. Life on the pasture is normally pretty good, lots of food and plenty of space. But when a winter storm comes roaring in, getting to safety becomes top priority. Without it, cattle can stress over their well-being and panic. Ranchers often build sturdy barns or implement windbreaks to protect the animals from biting winds and blizzards. These structures offer refuge, preventing direct exposure to extreme weather conditions, and ensure the well-being of the cattle. Additionally, bedding is provided to insulate the animals from the frozen ground, maintaining their body temperature and minimizing the risk of frostbite. Moreover, it's also important to pay attention to the weather forecast. When ranchers know a winter storm is coming, they try to keep the cattle close to the barn or near the shelter. That's one of the benefits of temporary electric fencing. You can control where your cattle are at all times. Adequate nutrition. Maintaining proper nutrition for cattle during the winter is essential for their health and survival. American ranchers develop strategic feeding plans to meet the increased energy requirements of their livestock. They often adjust the diet by providing additional forage, such as hay or silage, to compensate for the limited grazing opportunities. This ensures that the cattle receive sufficient nutrients and energy to withstand the cold temperatures and maintain their body condition. Moreover, ranchers employ innovative methods like using feed bunks or feeders to deliver a balanced diet to their animals. These feeding systems minimize wastage and allow for controlled distribution of feed, ensuring each animal receives its fair share of nutrition. Your best option pays off the most. Try to maintain a few fields of cold hardy grass that your cattle can graze through the winter, even with snow on the ground. Early in the season, use rotational grazing to section off a paddock or two with your electric fencing. In it, grow tall, highly nutritious grass that will peek out from under the heavy snow. Wait, before we move on, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to share your love and support by giving it a big thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated with our future uploads. Now, without further ado, let's get back to our video. Water availability. Cattle often struggle to get enough water during the winter. Water sources can freeze or are impossible to get to because of snow, ice, or mud. Veterinarians say that each day cattle need between 1 and 2 gallons of water per 100 pounds of weight. That water makes an important resource in any weather condition, winter or not. A novice livestock manager may assume that cattle can eat snow or lick ice to reach their normal limit, but that's simply not the case. Doing so would take hours and reroute valuable body heat, leaving little time or energy to feed and grow. Since dehydrated cattle are more at risk for colic and impaction, it's important to maintain their water uptake and keep them healthy. The easiest solution is to install tank heaters in their water sources. When you do, make sure to follow manufacturer instructions to avoid accidental shocks or fires. If you can't use a heater, be able to provide unfrozen water several times a day and in multiple locations. By ensuring a regular water source, even when temperatures plummet below freezing, your cattle continue to thrive, a key sign of a happy animal. Health and veterinary care. Caring for cattle during snowy winters involves vigilant health management. Ranchers work closely with veterinarians to develop vaccination and deworming schedules specific to their herds. These preventative measures help mitigate the risk of diseases and ensure the overall well-being of the cattle. Routine health checks are conducted to identify any signs of illness or injury promptly. American ranchers pay close attention to their animals' behavior, appetite, and body condition to detect any abnormalities. In case of an illness or injury, the ranchers seek veterinary assistance promptly and provide appropriate medical treatment. Furthermore, maintaining proper hoof care is crucial during the winter months. Snow, ice, and frozen ground can cause discomfort and hoof-related issues. Ranchers regularly trim hooves, ensuring their cattle have well-maintained feet that are less prone to injury and infection. Assisting pregnant cattle. Pregnant cattle should be carefully monitored through the winter. ranchers constantly check with their veterinarian about any specific vaccinations they may need to keep them healthy through the winter, including nutritional supplements and deworming. Paying special attention to them through harsh winter is the key. The need to be shielded from extreme temperatures, and they have easy access to food and water, regardless of how deep the snow is. It's important to remember a healthy, well-fed mother is going to pay big dividends later on. In fact, segregating pregnant cows into paddocks for close monitoring is always helpful. Doing so allows ranchers to provide them with the right nutrition, water, and shelter. Also, it keeps them close as they approach their due date. That allows ranchers to be on scene and properly equipped to help during delivery. Herd management and protection. Effectively managing and protecting the herd during snowy winters requires careful planning and proactive measures. American ranchers often employ rotational grazing, which involves dividing pastures into smaller sections. This practice allows cattle to graze on fresh forage while minimizing damage to the land and ensuring the availability of feed throughout the winter. Moreover, it's important to avoid mud at all costs. Winter mud hits cattle in two ways. First, mud is the perfect breeding ground for foot rot and thrush. Secondly, it can be challenging for cattle to stay warm when they're caked in mud, even if the mud is only on their legs. To keep cattle happy in the winter, ranchers address this mud issue by adding gravel or wood chips to muddy areas. To further safeguard the herd, ranchers utilize appropriate fencing systems to prevent livestock from straying or getting lost in snowy landscapes. Clearing snow from paths and gates is another important task to ensure easy movement of both cattle and ranchers. In regions with high risk of predator attacks, ranchers employ various strategies to protect their cattle. These may include using guard animals like trained dogs or employing electric fencing systems to deter predators. Ranchers also remain vigilant and implement measures such as night checks and the use of motion-activated lighting systems to monitor and deter potential threats. Keeping cattle comfortable. Beyond all the efforts listed above, there are additional points that you can take in to notice through which ranchers bring comfort to the animal, wintertime or not. Milking cows can be soothed and comforted with udder cream to relieve cracked and sore skin. Providing sand beds for resting cows helps ease stress on knees or hocks. Some ranchers have gone a step beyond sand beds, installing sloped water beds to ease body stress and increase comfort. Bedding material is also helpful, especially if cows are wet and it's cold out. Another simple solution to increase comfort is to give your cows space, such as extra bed spaces and spaces for feeding. By keeping your herd size at the appropriate level for your capacity, your cattle will be far less stressed and produce better for you. American ranchers exhibit unparalleled dedication and expertise in caring for their cattle during snowy winters. From providing adequate shelter and nutrition to ensuring proper health management and protecting the herd, these diligent individuals leave no stone unturned to guarantee the well-being of their livestock. Through their tireless efforts, American ranchers exemplify the ethos of responsible animal husbandry, making the snowy winter months more bearable for the cattle under their care. So that's all for today's video, and until next time, goodbye.